So when you were the Bachelorette, who
Yes.
was the guy that you picked?
Blake.
Did you really love him? Is it real? Like, is it real?
Cancer is not a cookie cutter diagnosis. And while there, that's when I got the call that it was officially breast cancer. Cause I just knew, I go, oh, something bad is happening. Oh, I'll get emotional. I already had my 3-month rescan to see what is happening with the tumor, and it has shrunk, which means the treatment's working.
That's amazing.
But yeah, people like to make clickbait because, people make money off an article click, and it's, Katie died, Katie took her last breath, and
Awful.
Hi guys, it's Mary Alice Haney and Dr. Tainis Aliabadi, and we have some amazing news to share with you.
You've been asking and we've been listening because nothing matters more to us than your feedback. We know we had to make this happen. Ovi now comes in a brand new flavor, tropical.
It's the same science-backed hormonal and metabolic support that you know and love, now with a refreshing tropical taste that you actually look forward to taking every single day.
We're so excited for you to try it and we can't wait to hear what you think. So let us know. Go to ovii.com or on Instagram at @ovhealth.
Okay, most of us fell in love with our next guest on The Bachelor and the Bachelorette, Katie Thurston. She's here. I don't know how many people, and I hope that they do because you've been so vocal about this, know about your breast cancer journey. And so I just want to thank you from the bottom of our heart. It's women like you that come on our podcast and share their journey and their personal medical information and all of these things in order to change the world for women. So not only are you the cutest, sweetest, most amazing, bubbliest person, but you're also an advocate for women and you're a warrior. We call you one of our warriors. And I thank you so much for being here today.
what an introduction. Thank you guys. Happy to be here.
Can we start off by you now tell everybody what your diagnosis is today.
Yes. So I call it hormone positive, HER2 negative, stage 4 breast cancer, which a lot of people don't realize breast cancer has so many different subtypes. And so I was learning so much this past year about breast cancer, was seeking to the internet for a lot of help. And that was kind of where my then calling came, was I should be doing the same for other people as well.
And so what was the first time, though, you were diagnosed before? So kind of walk us through
The very
that
beginning.
first moment and then to where we are now.
So I was initially diagnosed in LA, and they had me diagnosed as stage 3 triple positive. And it's very interesting because, as you may or may not know, listeners, there's different medications depending on your subtype, and one chemotherapy doesn't mean it's meant for the other type of breast cancer. And I say that because I was very close to being treated potentially with the wrong medication. And so at the time in LA, I was actually transitioning to moving to New York with my now husband. We were actually going to be traveling the world for 2 months together while he was touring for comedy. And this just came so obviously, unexpectedly at 34. So I had to make the decision, do I transfer my care to New York where we were moving? Do I move back home to Washington State where my family is? Do I stay in Los Angeles? And ultimately, and thankfully, I made the choice to move to New York, transfer my care over at Columbia, which meant starting over, getting essentially a second opinion, which I encourage everybody to do regardless. Something like cancer is so massive. And in that second opinion is when I found out I was actually HER2 negative. I was actually stage 4. And
what was the time difference between the two?
Probably about 4 weeks total.
So how does that happen? I guess I don't understand the different, as most women, like the difference between this cancer, that cancer, and stage 2, stage 4, how does that happen?
So, I mean, that's a loaded question.
Definitely.
So we have 4 stages of breast cancer. Stage 4 means it has metastasized to different parts of the body. It could be liver, it could be brain, it could be anywhere. Sometimes it can go to your ovaries. So stage 4, meaning it's the most advanced form of breast cancer. Now, every cancer, the easiest way to explain it is every cancer has an ID information, right? And these biomarkers are given to us by the lab. So I'm not sure why they would call it. Sometimes, the expression of the HER2 positive makes it more aggressive.
What does HER2 mean?
It's a protein it's an expression on certain types of breast cancers that makes it more aggressive. So even patients, let's say with early stage breast cancer, let's say you have a stage 1 breast cancer, that's estrogen receptor positive, progesterone receptor positive. If it's HER2 positive, even with early stage breast cancer, because of that aggressiveness, they will consider giving you chemotherapy sometimes. So the reason she's saying one said it was positive and the next person said it's negative, because there are different treatments for that HER2 cancer. And I cannot explain to you why. Honestly, we need a pathologist and a breast cancer specialist to tell us why one center would read it as positive and the other. Was it completely like...
Yeah, I will say it's very rare. A lot of people have the same response of why did that happen? How did that happen? I actually filed a medical grievance looking for answers, and I believe a mistake was made. I don't think this is a common thing that people should have been worried about. I do think people should.
So a mistake on your path report?
From the LA team, yeah. I think it was misread.
Misread or so you get a report from pathology that has the type of your breast cancer, if you've had lymph nodes, it talks about lymph nodes, and then it goes into the biomarkers, right? So that comes from pathology. Was it on that piece of paper or your doctor read it wrong?
Whoever's looking at it through a microscope, and I'm not going to quote this correctly.
Got it. So from the path report.
Didn't look at it correctly, because not only did my New York team get a new biopsy, because of the mismatch, they actually requested the previous biopsy to test those as well, and still confirmed it was HER2 negative. And the way I understand it is there's 2 different types of testing you can do. One is maybe like from a general, and I'm going to really dumb this down because I'm not experienced in this either, but a general glance, we'll call it. And it was with Kaiser, and Kaiser is very much like a meat factory, in my opinion. You're very much like going through it very quick, and I don't even know that I was with like a specialist, Right. And so the way I was told about the retesting was there's like a way to look at it through a microscope more, intensely. And because of that, and because of the time taken, they said that yes, it's HER2 negative. And I found this out one day before starting chemotherapy, which I ended up...
For the other one.
Correct. I even had a port placed, which is a very serious surgery to get. And I had my chemo bag packed. I had accepted everything that was about to happen. And I remember going through my medications, because there's a lot of prep to go into before chemotherapy. And I remember leaving a message from my doctor being like, I'm so confused. There's so many medications. Which one at what time am I supposed to take? And she's like, well, hold on. And that was the first time I had realized that there was a possibility that I wasn't going to have chemotherapy, that how big of a deal it was that if it's HER2 negative versus HER2 positive. I'm learning so much. And maybe she had told me and I didn't process it. Maybe she didn't want to give me false hope. But I was 24 hours away from starting and then got that news. And it was...
So what happened to your treatment?
So we switched the whole treatment plan, and I'm now on targeted therapy. So I'm on a drug called Kisqali, which was only available about 8 years ago. And the great thing about it is I already had my 3-month rescan to see what is happening with the tumor, both in my liver and in my breast. And it has shrunk, which means the treatment's working. Yeah, the liver, you can't even see it on a scan. So no radiation or ablation on the liver. We're just going to let the body keep doing what it's doing. And then my next set of scans, so 3 more months, is actually in a few weeks. And I'm very optimistic that the treatment is still working, that the tumor is still shrinking. So I think...
How did you diagnose it? Sorry. Let's go back.
Sure.
What did you feel? Did you feel something? Because you were very young.
Yes, I felt a lump. And I will admit, in my early 20s, I had a lump that I felt at the time. It was a benign cyst. I had a lumpectomy even to have it removed.
Or excisional biopsy. We use lumpectomy for cancer treatment.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't know.
Technical,
That's
but
what
it
I was told when
doesn't
I was in
matter.
my
Go
early
ahead.
20s, but yeah, that was like 10 years
They
ago.
took a lump out. Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I felt the lump, fast forward to now, I kind of assumed it was going to be the same thing. In fact, I felt the lump as early as last summer, and I had ignored it. I even did one of those full body scans that you see them, promoting online. And even on that scan, they said, oh, it could be old scar tissue, which was crazy to me because now knowing all the verbiage that I know about cancer and looking back at the scans and the lingo that was being used, I was like, no, I should have definitely got like a second opinion or like a more,
Second opinion.
yeah, just have someone look at the breast further beyond this like generic full body scan.
Did you ever look at your path report from your 20s, from your excisional biopsy?
I tried to. It's so old that I don't even know that they have it still on file. I can see
Because for a cyst, we don't do a lumpectomy. So it's something, I would have loved to look at those results from 10 years ago. And, okay, so you felt the mass and you ignored it.
I ignored it. I kind of thought it was kind of coming and going. And then this was last summer. At the time, I'm newly engaged. Now we're heading into the holiday season. And in January, New Year, that's when I said, okay, let's check off some boxes. My now husband thought we maybe would start like planning to have a baby. And so let's get our health in check first before doing that. So I went in so casually to get this lump checked. I went by myself. I remember like taking a little selfie in my gown. And the initial appointment, you just get the referral. They feel it, they go, yep, and they send you off, and you have to wait another like 2 weeks. It wasn't until I got the breast ultrasound that I realized like something's happening. Yeah, because I do remember in my early 20s when I got the breast ultrasound, they were able to tell me right away whatever they saw, whatever it looked like. They were like, we're not worried about it. If you want it removed, we can remove it. They gave me so much security at the time. And this time, the technician, that might not be the right title for her, but she was very quiet. And you could see her constantly taking pictures. And I could just feel the energy just like shift. And you're like, and I remember like laying there and like a tear just like slowly coming. Because I just knew, I go, oh, something bad is happening. Oh, I'll get emotional.
Oh, it's okay. Of course you should get emotional.
Yeah.
I mean.
And like within that same appointment, they're like, can you stay for a mammogram? And I'd never even had a mammogram, not even the first time. I said, okay, yeah, like I'll stay and get one.
How old are you at this point? 34?
34 when all this is now happening. Yeah. And I don't have breast cancer in my family whatsoever. The lump I remember hurting, and we all like to self-diagnose with Google, and I searched like, does breast cancer hurt? And I remember at the time it said like, generally no. And so you're taking that for face value.
Google doctor.
Yeah, you're like, of course. Well, yeah, I'm 34. I don't have breast cancer. That's crazy. And even when we were starting to like discover it, and I was telling my husband and my family, hey, like I might have breast cancer. And everyone was like, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. And so I got the mammogram that same day. Then they're like, can you stay for a biopsy? And that's when I was like, oh my God. They couldn't get me in that same day. And I remember that night, I didn't obviously tell the public anything, but I put a poll on my story that said like, hey, when you've had your breasts checked out, like how many of you made it to the biopsy stage is what I called it. And it was very, very small. And so I knew like, oh no, like if I'm making it this far in the exploration phase.
Something's wrong.
Yeah. So got the biopsy, and then we just try to continue life as normal while waiting for the results. And at this point, I've turned in my keys to my LA apartment. I've sold my car. We're in Hawaii because that's where we're taking off to then go to New Zealand and Australia and Japan. I mean, that was the plan. And while there, that's when I got the call that it was officially, and I say that because I was holding on to that 10% that maybe it wasn't, that it was officially breast cancer.
What type?
It's the
ductal or lobular.
Invasive ductal carcinoma, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
The most common type.
And this is the first one.
The first one, yes,
Okay.
yes.
So
then I have to, in Hawaii, which is such a different time zone compared to New York, coordinate reestablishing health insurance. We don't even have an address in New York, but I know I'm going to go there. Finding an oncologist who's taking a new patient, but then I have to find a primary care provider. And I'm doing this all like while looking out our hotel window at like the beach, what was supposed to be like a very fun vacation. I'm still recovering from the biopsy, so I can't even go swimming. It was such a nightmare. And I think the whole vacation was pretty much utilized transitioning my whole life and plans over to
So instead
New
of
York.
going to New Zealand, you went back to New York to start treatment.
Yes. Well, technically we went back to LA as like a holding spot. I remember just staying in a hotel. Jeff postponed his world tour, thank God, because I think those beginning stages of breast cancer are the scariest, the hardest. And he was like such a rock and support system. I could not have done it without him. I'll cry every time I think about it. He was just like, there's just so many like unknowns, you know? And to have like a partner there through it all is like so helpful, which is also how we ended up getting married. You know, he said, you know, I just want you to know, like, I'm here for you. I'm not leaving. Because the unfortunate reality is a lot of men do leave their partner when there's a cancer diagnosis. And he's like, I'll marry you tomorrow. And I was like, okay, I'm going to follow up on that.
We're going to revisit that, mister.
Well, come to find out, you cannot get married tomorrow. There's a little bit of a waiting period, but I started that like right. I was like, let me go to the courthouse. Let me fill out some
I
documents.
was the Bachelorette.
I dated enough men. I am ready. Yeah. So then we went from Hawaii back to New York and started off with IVF first, because at the time we're still thinking I'm going to be doing chemotherapy, which can impact my fertility. At the time, I opted to do a clinical trial, actually, versus standard of care. And because of that clinical trial, I was then granted a PET scan. And that's how we then found out I was stage 4. So then from there...
So it was not part of your workup, or you decided to go on the clinical trial?
I chose to go to the
Got
clinical
it.
trial.
So before your full workup was done?
Correct, yeah.
Got it.
Wait, so you did IVF?
I did IVF, yeah. So we did a fast track, 10 days. We have, right now, successfully have 2 embryos.
Amazing.
Ready to go when the time is right. Via surrogacy, we learned as well. We didn't know at the time that was going to be, you know, as we're exploring more and more, we're learning more and more. But yeah, very thankful that we did it. We have the somewhat of a choice. Like there's no guarantee that they'll, you know, make it to term, but at least we did our part, and, you know, what's meant to happen will happen for us.
And why do you need to do that before chemotherapy? Like, why is it?
Because chemotherapy can destroy your eggs, and you might never come out of it. So it was smart to do it. It's tough to do it because they're pumping you with estrogen while you have cancer growing. Yes. But if you were my patient, I would absolutely encourage it. You know, ideally, you know, that's why I start the discussion 28 to 30. You know, but the one important question I have for you, so I'm glad you froze your embryos, and I'm glad you're using a surrogate, but you were also diagnosed with a genetic mutation.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Yes. So
This is after this?
So
Yes.
technically it's part of IVF and cancer. They're exploring what your genetics are. And
But that doesn't check for cancer genes.
Well, that's how I found out I had the ATM genetic mutation, was through IVF first, before my oncologist.
Oh, before your oncologist.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
No one offered to do genetic testing on you after your diagnosis?
I was already transferring care over.
Oh.
And so then the next step in New York, the first step was IVF. I hadn't even met my oncologist yet, because there was a little bit of a waiting period. And it didn't matter because I'm about to do IVF for the next 10 days anyway. And through that, I remember her calling me and telling me, and then me telling my oncologist, and she's like, actually, we also got the results back. And
So you do have
Right.
the ATM
Yes.
mutation.
Right, okay.
yes, so the ATM genetic mutation does slightly increase your chance of breast cancer, as well as ovarian cancer, I believe.
Not slightly.
Well, not compared,
Significantly, moderately.
but I guess so. I'm
ATM
comparing it to BRCA.
BRCA is 80%. ATM is about 40%. It's a really high lifetime risk. And let me ask you a question. In your family, did you have any other cancers like pancreas, prostate, breast? You said no breast.
No breast. My grandfather had pancreatic cancer, but beyond that, not that we're aware of. And I say that because I don't have too much access to my biological dad's side. I've met them. That obviously that's like one of the first questions when you meet that family. You're like, by the way, is there anything I should know about?
Yeah, exactly.
And as far as I know, like, no, you know, so just my grandfather.
So grandfather makes a difference. And that's the conversation I want to have here for our listeners, that when you have a grandfather with pancreatic cancer sits on a lot of different gene mutations. ATM is one of them. It could be BRCA. It could be different genetic mutations. And sometimes men present with prostate or pancreas. Women in the family can have pancreas or breast, right? So whenever you have a family member with pancreatic cancer, insurance will pay for you to do genetic cancer testing. And that testing needs to be done at age 25. Right? So once you diagnose, had you been diagnosed with the ATM gene at age 25, we would have started breast imaging probably as early as 25. 1000% by age 30, you would have been getting mammograms, ultrasounds, and MRI because ATM pushes your lifetime risk to about 40%. 20% and above, it's considered high risk, and high risk patients can go and do their genetic testing. Their breast imaging as early as 30. So you don't have to wait for 40, right? Yeah. So here you were with a family history of pancreatic cancer with an ATM gene mutation and no breast imaging until 35. Yeah. And ATM is not as aggressive as BRCA, but it moderately increases your lifetime risk of breast cancer. So I think this is the biggest message for this podcast, and that's why we've been screaming on SheMD. If you have family history of any kind of cancer, see if you qualify. There's a questionnaire, and that should be done at age 25.
Yeah, it was pretty mind-blowing to realize that, I think as a woman we have, I think, limited education on our health. Like, I'm learning that a lot of things I'm learning now is because I'm in it, which is why I'm now like promoting it to other people. I'm like, listen to me. You think, oh, I don't need to pay attention to the men in my family. I'm a woman, But yes, your grandfather does make a difference on my outcome. And then now that I have tested positive, all of my family has then has the option, some of them opted out, but has the option to get the free testing as well to see if they have the mutation as well.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously are helping so many millions of people, but also your own family, and that's sort of the power of these tests.
Cancer is not a cookie cutter diagnosis. And I think that's what people don't realize is, you don't have to just say yes to what you're hearing. Learn what's happening, learn what's out there. Clinical trials, there's so many that are out there that are so close to just being like ready to go.
How did you find your clinical trial?
Through Columbia. So the Columbia was a great medical center that has just so much access to it. I don't even think I was offered that option when I was at Kaiser. I don't think they even have access to that. And since then, I've learned there's like websites you can go to see, what clinical trials are available, where you can go and get them done at. So I'm just very, I think, fortunate to be here in New York, which is like such a great hub for like medical advancements and research. And so, I always tell people, to look what's out there, no matter what your diagnosis is, and see if you qualify and if you want to do it.
You're so wise for your age.
I know.
Thank you. I never felt that way, but cancer really puts your life in perspective a little bit.
How did you end up in The Bachelorette? I don't watch TV.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Well, to be The Bachelorette, you have to first go through the torture of being on The Bachelor.
Oh.
Yeah. So I was first one of 30 women, and then I got to be the woman. So, but I just applied. It was the pandemic. I was 29 at the time, which I was like, I'm quote old for reality TV. Like, this is my last chance to get in. So on a whim, just kind of did it, and then one call after another, I was like, oh, I think they're going to have me on the show. And so we were in a little bubble filming scenario because it was in 2020. And then my season was also still in a bubble. So normally, just so you know, a regular season, you travel the world.
You didn't go anywhere.
I went to Farmington, Pennsylvania.
You were one of the Bachelorettes, right? What do they call you on The Bachelor? What do they call?
Well, I think they just call you like a contestant.
Okay, so you're one of the contestants on The Bachelor.
Yes.
And did you end up being like almost the one that was picked?
No, which is even crazier that I then was given the Bachelorette role. Because normally they do pick, I would say, like from your top like 5 women because you followed them the longest and you see them get heartbroken. I barely had the opportunity to build a relationship with Matt and was sent home at, like, if we're calling it like place, like 11th place. So I sometimes feel like I had no business being the Bachelorette. But when the opportunity comes, it's not really something you could turn down.
Wait, I have one more question about this. This is so interesting. I always wanted
I
to
know
ask
what you're
somebody
gonna
this. So when you were the Bachelorette, who
Yes.
was the guy that you picked?
Blake Moynes.
Blake. Did you really love him? Is it real? Like, is it real? That's
I
what
was going to
wanna
ask,
know.
is he your husband now?
He's not.
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
Yeah, I think it's as real as it can be in this social experiment. You know, you're cut off from TV, phones, friends, family, and you are just being like force-fed love down your throat. You're dating. You're talking about your feelings. You're breaking up with people. It's just all it is
my goodness.
is like
How
speed dating.
stressful.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, so it's like speed dating, and I think with Blake, I remember being like, it's just like dating in the real world. Either it's gonna work or it's not,
Right.
you know? And so he was like as great as a match as he could be given our scenario.
How long did you guys stay together?
I think it was like 3 or 4 months. He lived in Canada. Again, this is the pandemic. So even traveling to see each other was so hard. We have stayed in touch though. We're on great terms. He's very supportive. He's a great guy.
Did he ever get married?
No, I don't even know.
He's going to be
Not
the
yet.
next Bachelor.
I mean, to be honest, I would not be surprised if they've asked him several times. But you know, he's a busy guy working on animal advocacy. So
Oh, he sounds like an awesome guy.
How often do these Bachelor and Bachelorettes
Every
stay?
year, right?
No, but like have, stay
together.
and
there is a slight, amount of people who have like been married, even had kids.
Well, it's like
Really?
arranged marriages. It's basically our modern day arranged marriages. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
truly.
You're putting. I mean, there's a lot of people trying to figure out
Yeah.
how you put these two together and what they're gonna mix, and it's like an arranged marriage.
So
a
how'd
modern
you
day-
meet your husband?
Well, he's a comedian, and so after reality,
Tell us his name.
His name's Jeff Arcuri.
Okay, amazing.
Yes, Netflix special is being filmed at the end of the
We
year.
love it, we
Had
love
to plug. But so after reality TV, you can literally do whatever you want. Like you just have this momentum of like, what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? Where do I want to go? And I thought, okay, I want to try comedy. I just want to do it for a little bit, like just see what happens. And I had always felt this way before the pandemic, and then once it hit, all the clubs shut down. There's no open mics. Anyway, I ended up deciding I'm going to start trying to pursue comedy. And with that, I started following a bunch of comedians. I wanted my social media feed to just be comics and humor and just like, you manifest, you see what you want your future to be. Little did I know I was like literally seeing my future husband.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And yeah, so he was in New York. I was in LA. We were supposed to meet up the next time he was, performing in LA. And I didn't hear from him. And I was like, is he ghosting me? And then I kind of made a joke. I was like, he better be dead because that's the only good excuse. But he actually was in the hospital. So he did, in fact, have a good excuse. And he was in there, I think, either he had sepsis or he's at risk for sepsis. Yeah, he got a cut while performing in Hawaii. It was infected. So he was in the hospital for a few days, which, not to sound crazy, but I was like, that works to my advantage because all you can do right now is text me back. Like, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly.
So I texted him like, hey, you're in the hospital. I hope you're okay. And so we started.
How'd you find out on social media that
He was supposed to be on a show in LA, and then I saw like a promotion for the show, and he wasn't on there anymore. And I was like, that's weird. Like, I wonder what happened. And so I asked the organizer of that comedy show. I was like, hey, what happened to Jeff Arcuri? And he's like, oh, he's in the hospital or something. And I was like, what? So
Good excuse for not
yeah.
following up on our date.
He gets a pass. But yeah, so that night we ended up texting, and I don't know, like, your guys' history with online dating, if at all. It's horrible, but when you have, like, a connection via, like, texting and that banter, like, you just know. You're like, oh, this is a very good match. And so that whole night we were just texting nonstop, and I remember joking with him first night of just fully talking, being like, we're going to have to flip a coin for who has to move where when we fall in love.
Oh, did he know that you were the Bachelorette?
No.
I love
He
that.
thought I was a makeup influencer for some reason. Like, I might have had one video on my page that had me like, get ready with me and doing my makeup or something.
And that's the one he clicked on.
I guess so, yeah. So he all he saw was like cute girl, verified. He's a guy. He didn't know.
And I hear this a lot because I missed the whole online dating thing. But But I feel like it would be amazing. I would definitely be addicted. I'd be like, swipe, 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 swipe.
I can see her do that.
Totally. But being on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, did it change the way you looked for love? How did it affect you? Because, I mean, you said you were being force-fed love for like 2 years straight. How did that change you?
Well, I think the most obvious one for me was you had to then start navigating men for like, I hate to say the phrase, but who's here for the right reasons? Because now suddenly I'm in an era of social media, and that's where like the successful marriages come into play. Is pre-social media, a lot of successful marriages in the Bachelor franchise. Post-social media, it's changed everything. And so you have people who are like pursuing you because you have an audience, because you can get them attention, because you can get them a brand deal. It's like you have to figure out like who is there to date you, but also on the other side, who's comfortable with you having such a platform, such a spotlight, people messaging you, maybe men, and being comfortable and confident enough.
Not maybe men.
Well, I mean, I will say like the guy DMs, those fade out pretty quick because the Bachelor franchise, I think, is a lot of women or married men typically.
Yeah, that's true.
But so it was tough to find. You almost got to find someone who's like within your same like playing field, and I don't know if this is like a hot take, but like I feel like the same applies like financially even, like in dating, the more matched you are in your
I say it's
social
finding
setting,
a partner. Finding a partner in every way.
Exactly.
Is the best tip that I can give.
Absolutely.
I think if one person is there,
Yes.
up there, and down, or the other person is down there,
Yeah.
it just is, it's not that it's impossible, but it's just so much easier if it's in the middle and you're
Absolutely.
both sort of able to give each other,
Yes.
what you need.
Yeah. So we're both in this like different kind of spotlight. We're both financially doing our own thing. We're both independent. Like we're both, like, I would say funny, but like it worked so well. Like I think mass dating the way I did made me realize like when I met Jeff, I was like, oh, he's definitely the one.
I love it.
So how long did you date before getting engaged?
You guys, okay.
Wait, no. How long did you date before you got your cancer diagnosis?
I will break it down for you because it's very short. It's very easy. Our first date was in May. We got this is last year. May, we have our first date. August, we get engaged. So pre-cancer diagnosis. And then my diagnosis came January, February, and we got married in March.
Wow.
So we never even got to experience our 1 year of anything because we had our first date 1 year didn't even happen before we got engaged. Then our, wedding 1 year. Yeah, exactly.
But there were all these rumors that you were dead.
Oh,
Can you talk about that?
gosh.
Like that's the negative. Yes. How
Yeah.
terrible is this?
Yeah. It happened a lot, but for some reason, more recently, it like really got to me because it's such a unique experience.
I know. I relate.
Like how often are you having to like see this weird, like, I don't want to call it foreshadowing because I refuse to believe this is like terminal. Like I will not use that word for my diagnosis. But yeah, people like to make clickbait because people make money off an article click. Right. And so it's on Facebook primarily, of course. And it's, Katie died, Katie took her last breath, and
awful.
And to the point where like if I take a small break from social media, people their first thought is, oh my God, let's see if that's true. They go to my page. I haven't posted in a week. There's nothing on my stories. And so I had friends reach out to me most recently being like, hey, how are you doing? And I knew, I was like, we don't like,
you don't reach out.
Why are you reaching out? Like, thank you. But like, what did you read? I think I even said to one person, I was like, did you see something on Facebook? And then he was like, no, but my mom did and was worried. And so, yeah, so it's an unfortunate thing that I had to deal with. And I tried, report it, and there's only so much I can do. But
So where are you right now?
Well, with stage 4, it's a forever diagnosis. I always put that in quotes because I'm just so confident in like the future of medicine. Yes. The last 10 years have made such big advancements, and I believe
it's going to keep happening and keep
absolutely happening. With AI and with the everything. You just hope that the next 10 years are going to just be even better. But right now, so like a day in the life of my cancer. Every month I'm going in and getting blood work. I get Lupron, which suppresses my ovaries. It's a shot in my butt. Actually, I just got it today. I literally came here from my appointment.
No hot flashes?
Oh, I get hot flashes. This is a little hot flash watch to help me with that. And then every 3 months I'm getting a PET scan and an MRI. And like I said, the next one is coming up in a few weeks, but as of 3 months ago, the tumors were shrinking. There's nothing on my liver. So I'm just confident that that's going to be the trend. And eventually the hope is to reach a status of what's called no evidence of active disease. And so the way I describe it to people is like, technically, medically, like I have cancer forever, and they're little, I call it little molecules.
Microscopic,
Yeah, just floating around in
hopefully,
there, but they don't show up on a scan, and that's like all you can hope for with
How big is the lesion in your breast?
I think I have a post. I was like, I think it's like 3 by 5 centimeters or something like that.
Post-treatment or
Post,
before?
I believe post-treatment.
Post-treatment.
Yeah, I have a comparison pinned on my profile where you can see like the initial. I used AI to make this like mock-up of like what the tumor was, and to see how much it shrunk in just like 3 months of treatment, like gave me just such like peace of
Hope.
mind and
That's
hope. Yeah,
amazing.
absolutely. Yeah,
And besides the liver, you don't have any other meds?
nothing.
That's
So they call that, you might be able to know the phrase better than me, like ogliotas. I always say it wrong.
So there's one area of metastasis.
It's where it's like one, it's small, and it's like
Hasn't gone everywhere.
ogliotastic. I know I'm so butchering that, but it's like this special little community where you're like stage 4, but there's curative intent.
Yes.
And you've been so vocal about your journey. What made you decide that that was important to you? And then you got to talk to us about the Booby Broadcast. I love it.
I love the Booby Broadcast. Well, so when I was first diagnosed, I started to look for other women online. Social media is so great for that. Like hashtag breast cancer, and just see like what pops up. And I was shocked to learn how many young women under 40 have breast cancer. I truly thought I was like some rare science experiment where like, I don't know, I'd never met anyone under 40 at the time. Now the community is massive, you guys. And it's been on the rise for the last 10 years. This isn't something in the last year or two. And I knew I owed it to other women to kind of document my journey, but also just from a point of being like authentic. I couldn't pretend like I'm okay when I'm not, you know. And it was Valentine's Day, and everyone's posting like their little picture with their husband or their boyfriend or their roses, and I'm like, I literally just found out I had cancer. And I think it was February 15th that I was like, while you guys were posting, I found out, you know, and that's how I kind of announced it. I was just like, life update, I have cancer.
Oh. And what was the response? Just
I mean, I think it's obviously support, but I think a lot of shock. I think that, you know, you're so young. Everyone says that.
Young get breast cancer. Yeah. I think honestly, you should be an advocate for genetic testing, because a simple genetic test at 25 would have made all the difference. Yeah. And you're the perfect example of that. And I think you need to use your platform to educate
Which
about
she
this.
is.
I know, but specifically genetic testing.
Yes.
Because of that genetic test, your lifetime risk of breast cancer would have gone up. And because of that, you would have started breast imaging way, way earlier.
Yes. So there's actually a study called the Wisdom Panel, and I've been promoting that. And what they're doing is they are allowing women to enroll, and then you can choose to go the manual route, or the like set guidelines of like wait till you're 40 to get your mammogram, maybe do a self-exam here and there. Or the alternative is you get, and it's free, genetic testing. And so then you get a customized report back that says, based on, you know, all these cancer genes that we tested you for, here's what we recommend. And so it's exactly that, but that's just not what's standard of care right now. And I do see the future of that changing. I see more conversations happening around breast health, because it's no longer like, oh, you're too young. It's like, no, it's happening, and it's happening now.
yeah.
And that's why I always say, and we always say it on this podcast, that we all collectively need to stop saying that mammograms are at age 40. Mammograms are directly linked to your lifetime risk of breast cancer. If that risk is 20% or more, you can start as early as 30. If you have family history, ask for a genetic test. And these are very basic. They should really be basic women's rights. You know?
I totally agree. And what people don't realize too on that same like sentence is, sure, the standard schedule right now is at 40 you can get one. But if you find something, tell your doctor, because then you do qualify to get one, just like I did. I found a lump. I saw a specialist. They did all of their parts. Therefore, I had to get a mammogram. You're not going, like, if you have something, if you have changes in your breast, and that's what I always emphasize, it's people are like, what do you feel? I'm like, doesn't matter what I felt. What do you feel? Be so familiar with your breast that if something changes, you recognize it right away.
Do you know Maz Jobrani, the comedian? He's a very, very well-known Persian comedian. His sister, he talks about this publicly, but when she was 39, she finds a lump in her breast. She was a good friend of mine. This is years ago. Goes to her gynecologist in Santa Monica and asks them to evaluate it. Her doctor says, you're too young for a mammogram, sends her home. She comes back 6 months later with stage 4 breast cancer. So, it's a great point you brought up. If something feels not right, put it, go get it evaluated. You're never too young to have a mammogram, ultrasound, MRI. If they suspect something, put a needle in it.
And so what does the future look like for you? You're doing these, daily weekly scans and tests. Are you thinking about a double mastectomy? Are you thinking about getting what does that look like for you?
Yes. And it's funny you say that because today I literally changed my mind on some of the direction I was going. So I was supposed to have a double mastectomy in November, pending the October scans to see how things are going. And then I decided I want to wait longer before making that decision. I want to potentially reach no evidence of disease continuously before deciding to do any kind of surgery, because what ends up happening is I have to stop the oral medication I'm on for potentially 4 to 6 weeks. And right now I'm still fighting a cancer. It's still showing up on a scan. It's too soon to pause my treatment. That's not something I want to do. And so as of now, my hope is just keep taking the medicine like I'm doing. Every 3 months we get this scan, and my goal is that the tumor, I'm only in control so much, but my hope is that the tumor keeps shrinking, the medicine keeps working, and eventually, there'll be a scan one day where they look and they go, we don't see anything. And then from there, then you decide what's next. Is it radiation? Is it a double mastectomy? Do you wait another year? I don't know yet. And that's the tough part. When someone's stage 4, there's very difference of opinions about a double mastectomy. Of course, I've been listening to my team, but I've learned with stage 4, for some reason, some doctors recommend it, some don't. I think they're saying that there's no evidence that it increases your chance.
Survival.
Yeah. But then you go back to my, ATM genetic mutation, or just even peace of mind,
Or having something, God forbid, start growing on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you're getting screened
Yes.
so often. And we have talked about that. Every woman's choice is different, and every woman's comfort is different. And you didn't want to be screened and tested and tested.
No, I'm not talking about whether she needs to do a double mastectomy or not. In general, when you said I'm running the ship, your doctor should run the ship, and you need to advocate for yourself. Yeah. That's the message I want to give, especially when it comes to cancer. That's the only thing I would. Otherwise, you're amazing. Your knowledge, your fund of knowledge, your self-advocacy is everything we talk about in this podcast. Yeah. Everything we talk about.
And so what do you want a woman listening right now who's just been diagnosed with breast cancer to hear, or any cancer, to hear from you?
I want them to know that the beginning is the hardest, and you almost have to let go of control, because I think a lot of people want to figure out, why me? What did I do wrong? How come I got it? And you can't really waste your time and energy trying to put together that puzzle, because you never will. But that it does get easier. I think there is truly the other side of cancer, and that's going to look different for everybody, but there really is the other side. Even for someone like me who's stage 4, I know I am so close to that, quote, other side. And so just to lean on your support system. I think some people suffer in silence, and I don't recommend that. I think you really do have to find your community, and sometimes that is other breasties, as we call them, and sometimes that's local meetups. You really got to figure out who your people are that are going to help you get quote to the other side.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will tell you, it will, just like you said, and I think every single cancer patient will say this. Cancer changes your life at some point for the better.
I agree.
It makes you stop and look around, appreciate your loved ones, appreciate your relationship, and look at the world in a different way. And I can sit here and explain it, but I'm sure you can relate. Oh, yeah. And you'll see when all of this, as you said, it's very traumatic when it starts. You can't even think straight. You want to pass out. And then it gets better, better, better. And then you're like, oh, there's a solution. You know, and I always say if you're going to pick one type of cancer in your life, let it be breast cancer.
Sure.
Let it be breast cancer.
No, because it is. I mean, it is treatable.
It is treatable, yes.
And there is a lot of hope. And I see that in you. Like, you just radiate that.
Look at her skin.
I know. You're
She's
like
glowing.
health and positivity. And no, but that's why I think it's so important that you are here, because you have stage 4 breast cancer. And you're
So
going to live
healthy.
great life. You're going to have these magical babies with this wonderful husband. And look at you.
When are you going to have babies?
Gosh. Well, I mean, that's a whole nother like chapter of like
Surrogacy?
finding an approved match. I
Have you heard of Nodal?
no.
It's this new online platform. It's not an advertisement. It's a new online platform that actually matches parents to surrogates. So instead of, when you go through a surrogacy agency, you have to sign with them. You have to give a deposit.
Yeah.
And then you have to wait for them to find someone for you. The person they find might be different from this other agency. So it's really nerve-wracking because you don't know who to sign with, who they're going to come up with as far as surrogates. But Nodal, you can go directly to the surrogates and you can start screening through it, and it's half the cost.
How do you spell it?
Nodal. Dr. Brian Levine started it. He's in New York.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a great, great idea. I think a lot of that, I want you to look into it.
No, absolutely.
And if you ever need help, once you pick a surrogate, if you want me to eyeball, just
eyeballs it.
No,
Run.
there really is. It's like crazy how much you have to kind of like look at their like BMI and their childbirth history, things I just don't know anything about
The
yet.
only advice I will have for you is get their history of their prenatal care record and their birth records from the hospital. Because a lot of things are written. Sometimes you see like patient was non-compliant. She declined her diabetes test. Her blood pressure was high, and none of it is in the questionnaire. So if you ever want me to look at your application, feel free. You have our number. I'll do it for you.
How does everybody find you? And please give me the
go follow
name.
you.
No,
and
I
be
know, but I mean,
Yeah.
most people know how to find you.
it's
But I'm
okay.
just saying, give everybody your Instagram
Yes.
and then your Booby. Wait, what is
Booby
it called?
Broadcast.
Booby Broadcast. How do
Yes.
they find the Booby Broadcast?
Yes. So I'm mostly active on Instagram, which is under at the Katie Thurston. From there in my profile, you'll see something called the Booby Broadcast. You can join it. It's a free
Is it a podcast?
It's they call it a broadcast channel. Instagram is the one that's hosting it. And the way I describe it to people, it's been around forever. I've never had a reason to use it. I describe it as like an internal like Reddit almost. So I can post a topic, and then within that topic, people can respond. So you can like click on it and see everyone's responses. So I could be like, hey, who needs support? Or who's willing to offer support, list your diagnosis and like what you're seeking, and then you click it and then you see all these people's responses, and people can respond back and forth. I can respond back.
And this is your community.
It's my community. So
I
right now there's
love that.
it's like 60,000 people, and it varies. Some of them are medical professionals, some are cancer patients, some are survivors, some are just people who are just wanting to learn more. So it's a really cool thing that I didn't anticipate to grow the way it has been. And it's been like quite like the community.
Amazing. Thank you, Katie.
You're
Isn't
amazing.
she the best?
I want to cry for everything
gosh.
because you don't know, but indirectly or directly, you're saving so many lives.
Thank you.
So many lives.
Thank you.
The world is a better place with you in it.
Thank you so much.
This was your mission in life.
Thank
I always
you.
say we all come to this world to do something.
Yeah.
This was your superpower.
I feel it. I have so many women that are around for the last 5 years, and I owe it back to them to be like, hey, check your breasts, ladies.
I
Check your
love
breasts,
it.
ladies. I love that. All right. Thank you so much, Katie, for being on the podcast.
Thank you guys. I
So
appreciate
sweet.
it.
Thanks so much for joining us today on SheMD.
If you want to own your own health, a good place to start is by following us on social media at SheMD Podcast and by subscribing to our show on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts.
For takeaways from today's episode, visit our website, shemdpodcast.com. We'll see you next time on SheMD. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for a physician's medical advice. You should regularly consult your medical provider in matters relating to your own health. Even though we share our honest beliefs on SheMD, some of the products and services we discuss may involve sponsorships or paid advertising.